Hi, welcome back. We are so excited to see you. We have a lot in store this year in the Coach Replay Show. I know you all are just getting started in your school year. Things start to rev up in July and August. So, Cory, what can you expect from us in the show this year?
Well, Kim, we are shaking things up. Kim and I have been so excited about this since before last year's school year ended. We started talking about content that we engage with in our own lives for a variety of things and how we've been wanting to do shorter, more focused content, but then also still keep some of these longer episodes going. So here's what you can expect from us. Every month, we've got a theme that's going to be kind of driving our focus for that month. It's back to school as we get started here in this first part of the season. And we'll have a longer episode, not too long. We're going to try to keep it around 15 minutes or so. We'll sometimes have a guest with Kim and I, but this is a chance for us to just really kind of talk it out and maybe show you some artifacts, some things from coaching scenarios, talk those through. Then you can continue to follow us on all of your social media platforms throughout the week as we bring you short, bite-sized content through stories and reels and posts around that particular theme or topic. So let's start with this week's topic, this week's focus for our episode. We're talking about back to school. We're talking about a whole new season here on Coach Replay. And I discovered that Kim has a little obsession that I need to get on the bandwagon with, but I think we're going to see this theme kind of continue throughout the year. So Kim, what are you obsessed with right now?
So I'm obsessed with Ted Lasso, and I know that a lot of you have probably watched from the beginning. It's season 3 has just wrapped up. I joined the bandwagon a little late. However, I'm completely obsessed with this show, as most of you are that have seen it. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but you're definitely going to want to join me on this crusade of watching it after we're done talking. But we are going to follow some of these themes that Ted Lasso has throughout this show. Because there are so many things that can transfer from the show to educational leaders. And so someone, Sean Junkins here, has created this really great graphic, and we are going to talk about these and many, many more. So again, we will have conversations about these through our social media channels, through our reels, and we're really excited to bring you content in that way. But there are so many connections to this wonderful show, heartwarming show, that we're gonna make. So for one, be a goldfish, have a 10-second memory. Sometimes things don't go the way you want it to go. So you gotta forget about it and move on. So
I tell that one to my son all the time, especially in baseball. He needs to be a goldfish, right?
Be a goldfish.
He's got to forget it and move on, right? Yeah.
So I'm going to be talking about this week on social media channels, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this, but that's just a sneak peek into what you'll see. And then Cory, you're going to go ahead and talk about branding and creating a brand for yourself as a coach, which I think is one of the best things you can do, is to make sure that you are selling yourself and being honest with what you can offer and doing that in the best way possible. So a little sneak peek into what people are going to see. Tell us.
Yeah, I actually did a session on this. I kind of kicked off this idea at our Better Together Summit, which is a free summit sponsored by Sibme, who sponsors the Coach Replay. And it was kind of I've been thinking about this for a while, especially as I've started working more with our marketing team here. I'm like, oh my gosh, these are things that I had to do as a campus and a district coach. And when I talk with coaches who are struggling to get teachers to engage with them, or just anybody to understand what their job is, right? So I realized pretty quickly when I moved to a new area and wasn't immediately talking to educators like I was back in Texas. I was surrounded by many educators who I was friends with and saw often and would engage with. But when I moved to Ohio, a lot of the people I was sitting next to at my son's baseball games were not educators. They were, in the medical field or technology. And so they'd say, what do you do? And I'd say, oh, I'm a coach. And they're like, oh, what do you coach? And I'm like, teachers. And they're like, to do what? Right? So how do we define this, not just for people outside of education, but sometimes in your own building on the same hall block, they don't really know what it is you do as a coach.
Yep.
And so how do you really share that clearly and then build that brand so people not only know who you are, what you do, but how they can benefit from your service and start getting that service of coaching. So I'm going to be sharing that. You can remember, follow us on, you're going to find Kim and I are really focusing a lot of our time on Instagram. Join us over on Instagram.
Join us, please, at Dr. Kim Coaching, please.
Yes,
join us.
and at Cory Camp Coaching. And so follow us, but you can also follow the hashtag Coach Replay on any of your social media channels as well to be able to see all of the content that we're putting out for you. But again, each week we've got something focused around our bigger theme. This month and into the start of August is all back to school things. What things can we be doing to set ourselves up for success, to present ourselves, to start on the right foot at the beginning of the school year? If you're a new coach, new to coaching on a new building, you definitely want to check out what we've got in store for you. And then in September, we're going to start talking about late August, September, thinking about how do we evaluate our coaching. Might sound a little premature, but if you don't begin with the end in mind, you probably won't be able to do a great job of evaluating. So we'll start to talk to you about how you can start to set up your coaching so that you can evaluate it throughout and be iterative within your coaching process. So just a sneak peek into our first two themes of season 5. Kim, can you believe season 5? Crazy.
I can't. I mean, I joined in season 3.
I shoved you in here. Yes.
Yeah. I was shoved in face first, and here we are. So I'm really excited about these changes that we're making. Please follow us on Instagram. We're going to post for Sibme, but we're also going to post for a lot of other content as well. So we would love for you to engage with us and hear from you, and we'll follow you back. So join us on this journey.
Yeah. And if you haven't watched Ted Lasso before, you're not alone. I haven't. I don't have the channel service, but I'm going to get it so I can understand the context of some of these things that Kim's just talked about. So many great parallels to that show and our world. So you're an instructional leader. We're so happy to have you here with us. We'll see you next time. Yeah.
Bye-bye now. Bye.